Welcome to Massive Late Fee. And now your hosts, Mark and Carol.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me as always is my little sexy vixen co-host Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
I'm doing good there.
Okay.
Sorry. Hey, what's up?
I flustered you.
You did.
Well, it's been a good week here. It is January 11th, 1997.
And is that?
Happy New Year. Our first regular show of the new year.
Are you all excited?
Yeah. Yesterday, 90210 show came out. If you haven't listened to that, take a listen to that because it's a funny little time that we have over there.
I love doing the 90210 show.
Me too. This show sucks.
This show's fun too.
No, this show's fun. But yeah, the 90210, like, here's the thing. I don't even know if I like 90210, the show.
Right.
But I like doing the show, and it's fun to watch it and fun to talk with you about it. Just like it's going to be fun to talk about this stuff today.
Right.
Oh, just wait, guys. Just wait. The Relic. But first...
Oh, goodness.
First, here's something new. Apparently, it's going to be on 8:30s on Sunday on Channel 2 Fox. It's another animated show called, it's called King of the Hill.
Okay.
It's by the creator of Beavis and Butthead. This
Oh,
is,
no.
Mike Duffy says Beavis's creator scores another hit. King of the Hill opens in droll American splendor. Four frequently perplexed blue-collar buddies are standing around in a suburban driveway, gawking at the misbehaving engine under the hood of Hank Hill's red pickup. They grip their cans of beer. They say, "Yep," in their own happily monosyllabic male way. They communicate. Back then, when these guys were nervous, horny teenagers, they probably had a bit of Beavis about them. Undeniable. King of the Hill. And then Mike Duffy gives it 3 out of 4 stars, so quite high praise. Interesting. We'll have to check it out. King of the Hill.
I mean, I guess, but I was not a fan of Beavis and Butthead, so it kind of makes me concerned about watching another show that's like it.
So the animation style looks, because they have pictures in here, the animation style looks similar to me, but it looks like a dad, a wife, and a fat little son.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's going to, like, Beavis and Butthead, there were things about Beavis and Butthead I liked. Now, some of the more, here's the thing. It could have been potty humor, a.k.a., or not a.k.a., but in the vein of Ren and Stimpy. But it sometimes went into that, but mostly not. It was mostly a little bit smarter than that.
Okay.
Beavis and Butthead. So I was not a huge fan either. Like a lot of people were huge fans. I was not a huge fan either. But I don't know. I'm willing to give it a try.
I'll check it out with you.
Well, do you want to check it out on a TV that's flat?
What?
Soon to come, flat TVs can be picture perfect.
What? That sounds weird.
This article is by Las Vegas.
The name is Las Vegas?
No, actually, it's by David Lyman.
What the fuck is happening?
Las Vegas is where where it's taking place.
Okay.
Superman had one. So did the Jetsons. I never thought about that, but yeah, the Jetsons did have a flat TV. And by the end of the year, you may have a television set so skinny that it will hang on your wall.
Interesting.
What a 4-inch TV that you can hang on your wall? We have I think 30. No, we have a 40-inch TV, I think, and that thing is fucking heavy as shit.
Yeah. It would take down the wall.
More than a half dozen of these so-called flat panel televisions were introduced here Thursday on the opening day of the 30th Consumer Electronics Show. Huh. Advertisements in TV technology are especially significant for Metro Detroiters, who perennially rank among the nation's most avid TV viewers. Oh, okay.
Interesting. I did not know that.
So we are the most avid TV viewers here. Interesting. So, apparently these are supposed to be slim, lightweight, and with the ability to hang on a wall.
What did they do with all the guts inside the TV?
I don't know.
Like, what'd they replace it with? This is weird.
Huh. I remember when I started in this industry, we were always talking about the TV screen that would hang up on the wall, says Jim Neubauer, Senior Vice President for Philips, no relation, Consumer Electronics Company. But every time you heard about it, they would say it was 10 years away. But this time, it's only 5 years away. Now, a 25-year industry veteran of technology, advertisements, manufacturing, and savvy consumer interests have fallen into sync with one another. So apparently, they are going to. We have found that. Here's what they're doing with the guts. This is technology that was regarded as impossible, says Warren Dillard, Telgen's chief operating officer. No one believed that it could be achieved, but we have found the solution and regard it as an American alternative to the LCD, liquid crystal display. Huh. Interesting. And then as a related so what do you think? Flat TVs. Hang up a TV on the wall.
I mean, it sounds like it would be cool, and we could probably,
have space for our pogo sticks.
What the fuck?
I don't know. Remember DVD, Carol? We talked about DVDs. Digital video discs.
I do remember that.
Well, this article, this says, remember DVD. Whatever happened to DVD? Last year's Consumer Electronics Show, the digital video disc was touted as the next electronics megastar.
Okay.
After all, DVD offers radical improvements in picture and sound and has the ability to record an entire movie on a disc the size of a CD. Partner it with one of those flat TVs.
Right?
And it was to be available in stores by mid-1996. But DVD never arrived. Industry finger-pointing is rife. Some blame manufacturers for becoming indecisive about the pricing of DVD players, which began at $500. Yeah, no thanks. Others suggest retailers were wary of committing a bunch of space to a product that would, in time, replace VCRs. But the real reason seems to be the shortage of products to put in the DVD player. 20th Century Fox, which had planned to be at the Consumer Electronics Show to introduce DVD titles, backed out at the last minute. And Warner Brothers, which last year promised 300 titles, produced none.
Oh my God! Why?
So they're not making DVDs. That's what happened to the DVD. They're not making them.
So did they just decide to shut it down? They're just like, nope, sorry, not going to happen. Hollywood's like, fuck it, we're keeping the VHSs.
Maybe it's because of I don't know who manufactures and sells a lot of VCRs. Maybe Blockbuster is pissed off about it. I don't know. Because they've got all the VCR or the VHS tapes, but
I mean, it's not like it would happen.
They could just have DVDs, though.
Yeah, it's not like it would happen overnight that all of a sudden nobody would be using a VHS or whatever. It's a new thing that they can use with it.
Here's what I want. Can you record? It says you can record. Can I record a movie off the TV with a DVD player?
Ooh,
I'm not spending $500 on a DVD player.
Okay,
I'll wait till they're $99.
Okay. Well, it sounds like they're never going to come anyway. So
DVD, yeah.
Imagine how much more space my mom would have in her house with all those VHSs. She literally has wall full of VHS tapes.
That's a good. I didn't even think about that. But if they're the size of CDs, you know how in the car. Because we're fancy, everybody. We got a CD. we went to Alpine and got a CD player in the car, but or whatever installed. But you know how we have in the car, you've got that black case that has the CDs in it. You could do that for movies. I mean, there's I don't know, 50 or 60 CDs in there? You can have 50 or 60 movies in one little pack like that?
Yeah, although, like, I mean, I still have all the cases because you get, like, the lyrics and all the information and stuff in the cases for the CDs. And, like, with the, DVD, I would want, like, the pictures and everything.
Well, even so, if they come in jewel cases like CDs, then that's going to be way less space than tapes. So you're right. Either way, you're right.
Can I get that on loop?
Either way, you're right. Either way, you're right. Either way, you're right. Either way, you're right. Yeah, there you go.
Always right.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so before we get to the movie, Carol,
the piece of crap, yes.
Before we venture to the Relic, I thought everyone could use a little bit of lovin', and we would do some massive love. What do you think?
Yeah, I love massive love.
All right, let's take a look at our first massive lovely. That's what we've always called them, by the way. Our massive lovelies. That's what we should call our fans.
That sounds fucked up.
Massive lovelies.
It sounds like we want to date some like heavy people.
What? Oh God. Well, how about this adventurous, very attractive black female, 34, 5'8". It's pretty tall for a woman.
That is tall.
Seeks outgoing, earthy, affectionate, sincere black male, 6 foot plus, athletic build, interested in prosperous relationship. Earthy, what do you think that means?
I don't know. And like being interested in a prosperous relationship, that makes me a little nervous.
I'm interested in a relationship that nosedives. Can I interest you in a toxic relationship?
Right. I mean, obviously she wants somebody taller than her, which is going to be hard to find. So I get why she's looking like this.
6 foot plus.
Yeah. But earthy.
Earthy.
Like, does she mean like going in the woods?
A farmer?
Right?
I mean, I don't want to sound prejudiced or anything, but you don't see a lot of black farmers anymore.
Yeah, I guess not.
I mean,
not around here anyway. I don't know about the rest of the country or the world, but
can't really blame them for not wanting to work the lands.
What the fuck?
Well, I'm just saying I wouldn't either. If my heritage was
you wouldn't anyway
was in farming,
you're not earthy,
forced to be farmed. I would kind of stick away from it too.
Okay.
I'm just saying I would.
I stick away from all things outdoors anyway.
Yeah, well, you're allergic to everything outdoors. Everything outdoors can kill you.
I should be in a bubble.
Oh my God. A prosperous relationship, Carol.
So basically she wants a tall sugar daddy who will take her camping.
I guess. But a tall sugar cane daddy? He's a sugar cane,
What is wrong with you?
What are you talking about? Sugarcane was not one of the things that was grown on plantations. That's grown in South America.
Oh.
It was
never mind.
Cotton and tobacco, Carol. I mean, maybe there were some slaves in South America. I don't know. But that wasn't referencing slavery.
Okay.
What I was thinking of when I said a sugarcane daddy is... why do you keep looking at me like that? Like it's an offensive term. I was thinking of that movie.
Because then I pictured somebody getting caned by their sugar daddy.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Your mind is off the rails. I was picturing the movie Striptease.
Okay.
Because remember, they were sugar magnates. They were the bad guys in that movie.
Sugar magnates.
Yeah, they were sugar farmers.
Oh yeah, okay. That's weird.
How about this? Rare and unique muscle car.
Is this not the personals ad? Did you get something in the wrong section?
This is how he starts this out.
Okay.
Or how she starts it out, sorry. Rare and unique muscle car. Attractive single white female, 31. No kids. Loves hot rods. Car shows, dancing, camping. Seeking single white male, 25 to 38. Same interests. What do you think? How much do you want to bet that she lives in Taylor? For all of you not in Michigan, that is a reference to a rednecky area of Michigan.
Yeah, she sounds like a man's man.
But she's a rare and unique muscle car, Carol.
Does she wear muscle t-shirts?
I don't know. Does she have a lot of muscles?
Like, I don't get this one.
She one of those girls in those bikini shows, which it's like
Ew. Ew.
attractive single white female, 31, no kids. She's never had any kids. Here's what you gotta love if you're a guy and you want to date her: hot rods, car shows, dancing, camping. That's it.
Well, I mean, I guess, Detroit's the place to live if you want to go to car show.
What?
Car
Is it the place to live if you want to talk?
Apparently not.
Hot rods. What
She
kind of
should
hot
date
rods
Tim
is she
Allen.
looking for? Yeah, I guess so. Do you love cocaine or previous cocaine charges?
Right. Maybe he likes to camp. Who knows?
Who, Tim Allen?
Yeah.
Camp out from the police. No, Tim Allen's the best, I think. But anyway, so, yeah, I don't know. Tim Allen seems like a camper. We're not into camping. But
No.
again,
Because I'd die.
everything would kill you.
Yes.
And I hate camping. So works out.
Yeah, I could never go for an outdoorsy guy.
How about a single black female, Carol?
Maybe.
Sexy, sassy, sincere. 5'5", 150 pounds. Seeking single black male, Northwest Detroit.
Okay.
It has to be specifically in the Northwest Detroit area.
She must not have a car.
I'm from Brightmore. No, fuck you. Detroit, well-groomed, financially secure, 50 to 60
What the fuck?
for companionship.
How old is she?
She doesn't say.
All right.
She just says she's a single black female, sexy, sassy, and sincere. 5'5", 150 pounds. She wants a sugar daddy. In
Sounds
Northwest Detroit specifically.
She does not want to travel.
I guess. Do you think that's what it is?
Why else would you specify which section of the city?
It is weird.
Like, I only know the bus routes that go from Northwest Detroit to Northwest Detroit.
She could have said South Detroit, like the Journey song.
It's,
Born and raised in South Detroit. There's no South Detroit, by the way.
I'm just saying, if
There's
you had
no South Detroit Journey. What are you talking about? The river?
right, they're thinking of Chicago.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying, if you had a car, the whole city of Detroit would probably be acceptable. Maybe even the suburbs.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. She's sassy.
Okay.
She's too sassy for the suburbs. Are you as sassy as Jack A from 227, ma'am? How about
What the fuck?
It's a show, TV show from the 80s.
Okay.
Black male artist. Okay.
Uh-oh, he's already laughing.
Black male artist also has 100 classical literature books.
Okay.
He's bragging about his book collection. Likes theater. 48 years old, 6 foot, 200 pounds, dark skin, looking for a white female Barbie doll
Oh, my.
who's into the arts. I'm laid off.
Why would you put that in your ad?
Devout Roman Catholic, St. Aloysius, Palmer Park area.
What in the fuck? Did he just say what church he goes to?
Yes, he did. So all we have to do is go to St. Aloysius and look for a 6 foot tall, 200 pound, dark skinned man who looks like he owns 100 classical literature books.
And find him a Barbie doll.
Oh my God! This
That's so offensive.
there's so I guess he could have said China doll, but there's so much. There is so much in here. Okay,
Yeah.
we got to go a little bit at a time here.
Okay.
Black male, that's fine. Artist, okay, you're into the arts. Also has 100 classical literature books. Why? Why specify how many classic literature books you have?
Well, he's very proud of it. He likes his collection. I guess.
What's he consider classic literature? What's in there?
Well, that's a good question.
He likes the theater,
So do I.
but never arrives late.
Well, you can't arrive late to the theater.
That's why the lady's a tramp. It's a Frank Sinatra song.
I'm so confused right now.
He's 48 years old. Okay, normal. 6 foot tall, normal. 200 pounds. That's a good height to weight ratio. Dark skin, fine. You already said you're black. Looking for a white female Barbie doll.
See, that's so racist. Like, I'm sorry, but that just, like, that offends me as a white woman that you know, he's looking for a white woman Barbie doll.
That's where it goes off the rails. Yeah. It's the white female, but all in caps, by the way. White female.
All in caps.
Well, not all, but W's capitalized, F's capitalized, and Barbie's capitalized. Doll's not, for some reason, but...
Interesting.
White female Barbie doll.
So he wants a skinny blonde woman.
With big boobs.
And a little waist and a round thing in your face.
That's why we're together.
Who likes the art?
Who's into the arts. What? So he can impress her with his 100 classical literature books?
I don't feel like this woman is reading the personal ads. I feel like this woman already has a person that's taking her to the theater if she exists.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if she even exists. Right. Talk about like height to weight ratio. You ever look at a Barbie doll? I mean, like what proportions would a woman have to be to conform to a Barbie doll?
Well, I mean, she's supposed to be a fashion model, so she should be tall. Like she's got those big, long legs and everything. Like, yeah, I mean, she's definitely an abnormal specimen for a woman.
Right. Then, after he says what he wants, he hits us with a little truth. I'm laid off.
Like, why? Maybe you'll have a job by the time this ad comes out, sir.
How are you affording this ad?
Right?
Or are you like food or the personal ad? Oh, my God. Then he gives us a little more backstory about himself. That he's a devout Roman Catholic, which is fine, I guess. You would hate it. But, yeah. And then, for whatever reason, he specifies his church and where it is. St. Aloysius, Palmer Park area. If you guys know, Palmer Park is it's an area of Detroit.
I don't understand. Like, does it cost money to respond to these ads? Maybe he's throwing it out there so the Barbie dolls can just come to him. Come find me, Barbie.
I'm sure that that St. Aloysius is going to be flooded with a bunch of tall, blonde, busty women. Where's the man with 100 books?
You're right, too, though. Like, it's so financially irresponsible. I'm laid off and I'm spending money on an ad that and costs
so
for
many words.
Yeah, every single syllable. Or like, what are they? Not syllable.
Character.
Thank you.
It's the longest one we have.
Yeah.
The longest one we did today. That's the finishing one.
You're gonna end up having to sell that book collection, sir.
Oh my God. You're gonna have to sell Huckleberry Finn, but that's okay because that's got some bad words. That's a classic literature, isn't it?
What is wrong with you?
What?
You know what you did. Don't try to act like you don't know.
I'm just saying. Might not like everything in that book. Anyway. Speaking of things we didn't like.
Yeah, I'm considering like just boycotting like movies for a while after the experience that we just had.
Oh, come on. We have fans to please, Carol. We can't just boycott movies.
But I hated it so much.
We watched The Relic.
It was awful. It's a relic.
We watched
on its own.
We watched. How long did you work on that show?
Shut up.
We watched Penelope Ann Miller and Tom Sizemore in The Relic.
The most ridiculous movie, I think. have ever seen.
The last movie that we watched before we went on vacation was Scream.
Yes. Which was a really well done horror movie.
Fantastic horror movie. And we start out 1997. I hope this is not a harbinger for things to come in 97 with the Relic. And this is a relic of a bygone age of horror movies.
What do you mean?
Well, I think Scream is going to usher in a new era of good horror movies.
I hope so.
And this is a relic of the old days of like 1993 horror movies.
You know what we saw in this movie, people?
Yeah, go ahead. Not much.
We saw heads removed from bodies and brains removed from heads and pieces of brains removed from the brains. It was like a nesting doll, like just laid out and bloody.
We could call it the nesting doll killer. Which is equal parts some fucking dude we don't care about.
Right?
And then an iguana and a beetle or something. I don't know.
Who the fuck knows? I still don't know what it was.
It's so funny when we're spoiling everything in this movie, by the way.
There's nothing to spoil. It's bullshit. It's like a shell of a movie.
It's so funny. Yes, Marushka's shell, right? Those are what the nesting dolls are called. But it's so funny when they reveal towards the end of the movie, she's like, there's human DNA in here. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's that fucking John guy we saw at the beginning. And she's like, but the analysis comes back. It takes a lot, it takes like 5 minutes of movie time for the analysis to come back.
The analysis?
It's the Italian analysis. And she says, oh, it's John Whitney. And I'm like, who fucking cares? We saw him for 30 seconds at the beginning of the movie, and then never again.
Yeah.
If it had come back and it was like, oh, it's one of those kids we saw, which, what the fuck happened to them?
They're still wandering around.
Right. Then, whatever. That might have at least had some kind of an impact, but I'm like, who gives a fuck? It's part this dude. I don't care. I don't know anything about him. Why should I care about him? And I don't care about any of these people. The biggest failing of this movie is I didn't care about any of these people.
No.
I was like, Tom Sizemore could get his head ripped off his fucking body, and I wouldn't care. Brooks from The Shawshank Redemption gets killed, and we don't really see it. He just it's one of those things where they push the camera in, and he's like, ah, and then whatever, he's dead. But I don't care. And I liked that character from he at least had a little residual. I liked him from The Shawshank Redemption, but don't care that he died. And you said, what we saw in this movie. Well, not much.
Right. Because
let me tell you something. When I'm in the theater and I have to look over my shoulder to make sure that the projector is still working, the cinematographer has fucked up his job.
Yes.
I don't understand. I get Stan Winston the legendary Stan Winston did the creature effects here.
Okay.
I would imagine if they gave him any money to work with, that it had to look at least halfway decent. I don't know, because we didn't see it. They showed us the monster several times in the climax of the movie, but I couldn't pick it out of a fucking lineup.
Yeah, it was so dark. It was hard to tell what was going on the whole time.
And every attack scene... the cinematography, like I said, is terrible. The lighting is terrible. Mm-hmm. And the direction going along with the cinematography also really bad. In every attack scene, there's they show us almost nothing. A black form that's supposed to be the thing attacking, basically. Because it's not lit. And then they'd show us a close-up of someone's face, and then they'd cut to a close-up of someone else in the room's face, and then a close-up of someone else in the room's face. But because it cuts so fast, and there's so many very close-up shots, I don't get an idea. I can't understand where we are in space, where all these people are in relation to each other, where the monster is in relation to them, how big the threat is right now. I can't understand what's going on.
Yeah, it was not good in any way.
There's only one part that works it's attack-wise, there's only one part that works for anything.
Okay.
And that's when the police, it's comical too, when the police are coming down, they crash the window. So all this takes place in a museum. This is a museum where this dude, and by the way, who shipped this stuff? Okay, real quick. The beginning of the movie, John Whitney goes to, I only remember his name because John's easy to remember, and Whitney like the Whitney Museum, because I thought it was the Whitney Museum at first.
Okay.
But he's in Brazil going to this tribe. And I guess the way they explain it later is they would make this chimera, which is two different creatures blended together. One tribe would make one and unleash it on another tribe to kill the people from the other tribe. And then eventually, because it needed these hormones that are basically produced in the hypothalamus of the brain, the human brain. It needed them to survive. That's what, somehow it knows that that's where the hormones are, and it knows how to rip off a head and
find exactly the hypothalamus in the brain. Yeah,
and eat that from the brain. Yeah,
leaves everything else because why?
Yeah, it doesn't need. All it needs is those hormones. It doesn't need sustenance. It doesn't need calories. It's not burning. It doesn't. The laws of thermodynamics don't work with this fucking creature. But anyway. So they would do that, and then after everyone in the village or whatever was dead, it would slowly die because it didn't have those hormones anymore. And that's what they would do. So he discovers this in this area. They give him something to drink that turns him into one of these chimeras. Then, hard cut, we're on a boat, or the aftermath of a slaughter on a boat, where there's these crates, right?
Yeah, I remember this, yes.
Sending it to his museum, John Whitney. How exactly did this happen? Did John Whitney, in monster form, nailed these things down, put the things in there so, he could have them, these leaves and shit like that, this relic, and then, just be come up as a monster and be like, hey, load these up on the ship for me, will you? Did he sneak as a giant monster onto this boat somehow? How the fuck did this happen? It makes no sense.
Yeah, and it looked like a bad scene from a haunted house.
Oh, yeah, very bad haunted house.
When they opened up the, bottom of the ship and it showed all these, pieces of bodies because people's heads were torn off. And there was some kind of weird green light. Yeah. It's a ship.
Yeah, another weird cinematography choice.
What were they doing? They didn't look like wax people.
Yeah, it looked like a rubber mask that you would buy at the dollar store. Yeah. It was awful.
I mean, I guess it was supposed to be horrifying, but it was not. No, it made me laugh out loud in the theater.
Comical. This movie was either boring or comical or nothing.
Yeah. But another movie that I fell asleep in.
But the scene that I was talking about was when the police were coming down. They crash into the museum. They're coming down on their zip lines. And the creature jumps, and it's at least decently lit because there's a spotlight from underneath. The creature jumps and tears a guy down, and then he jumps and gets another guy. And the black police officer that's at the top, he's starting to come down. He goes up, which was hilarious. Yeah. And then they start pulling him up. He's crawling, and the thing jumps he's going over. The lip to the roof, right? And you see his face, and then the look on his face just changes, and they pull him up, and his bottom half's gone. But it was comical. The whole thing was comical. It just the way it was filmed and everything. It's not supposed to be, but it was. Yeah. Everything else was ridiculous. I don't understand They didn't give us any characters, by the way. All I know about Tom Sizemore is he was somewhat superstitious. He tells a pointless story about how when he was first a cop, this guy was trying to get into his car. He thought he just locked his keys in his car, but he had just robbed a liquor store. he comes up to him as a cop, beat cop, so he's dressed in his uniform. He's like, hey, guy turns around, points his gun at his chest, point blank range, pulls the trigger, and nothing happens. And he grabs the gun from him. He says he beat the shit out of him. Grabs the gun from him, and they go and test it and everything. The bullet that was in the chamber is perfect. Should have fired. He should have been dead. It's his lucky charm. He's very superstitious, right? Mm-hmm. Penelope Ann Miller's not, because she's a woman of science.
Right.
But they don't have enough interaction. There's no tension or conflict between them, so it doesn't fucking matter. When there's trouble, she wants to go to see him. She's not like, oh, no, not his superstitious ass. So
Right.
it's just like, there is no conflict, so it doesn't matter at all. Mm-hmm. She takes the bullet, puts it in her bra. And I thought to myself, this bullet's going to come in handy. He's going to run out of ammunition at the very last minute, and she throws him the bullet, or he grabs the bullet, or she gives him the bullet, or she loads it in the gun that he's dropped while it's attacking her, takes the bullet, fires it, and it's going to work this time and kill the beast, right? Mm-hmm. You know? Instead, nothing happens. Instead, the monster gets defeated in a completely different way, where she blows it up, and then she goes to hand him the bullet back. She's like, oh, here you go. And he's like, nah, you keep it. And that's what happens.
Is that why she had that big-ass smile at the very end of the movie? Is that what that was about?
Yes.
Which, by the way, like, I'm sorry, I drifted off for a minute.
In this conversation?
No.
Okay.
In the movie. And, like, that was when I came to. It was, like, this creepy, like, I thought she turned into a monster because of the smile on her face.
That would have at least been somewhat interesting.
It was the weirdest fucking grin I've ever seen.
If she had revealed that she had eaten one of those little, like, pods or whatever that she found on the leaves. Mm-hmm. Or if she had... And what was that? Was that supposed to be his food while he was on the ship? But he's tearing out hypothalamuses anyway?
I have no idea.
Why did he want to go back to the fucking museum? That's not a place where you can find the most heads.
Right?
What the fuck?
Yeah, very little about this movie made any sense.
He should have gone to a hat store. Yeah, it didn't, and like the first attack is a dude smoking a joint. A security guard goes into the bathroom. He's smoking a joint, and he gets attacked, dragged out, and killed. You can see his brain in the corner and everything, but there's no tension to it at all. There's no tension to this.
Yeah.
It's not like there's no. I guess it's like the music isn't there. There's no like artistry to this scene. So it's just completely flat. And then after he gets killed, there's blood splattered everywhere. The camera just focuses and then slowly pushes in on the joint on the floor.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? Is this an anti-drug PSA? Like, what the fuck is going on?
It really served no purpose at all for him to be smoking the joint. It didn't matter to the plot.
No.
Focusing on it at the end didn't matter. And like, it wasn't like they're trying to protect us from some gore because they showed us all the gore later.
Yeah, what if it smoking the pot affected his hypothalamus in some way?
Right.
And then caused something to happen to the monster, or maybe he didn't take the hypothalamus there, and then it's like, oh, well, this one doesn't have the hypothalamus. Maybe this is someone, like, and it throws him off the case a little bit, or something.
Yeah, they did. They started so many things that they didn't go anywhere with.
No. And it's so funny. She goes to Tom Sizemore, the cop, goes to the coroner, and she's going through the whole thing and everything. There is the one funny line in the entire movie. She's like, wow, this is like the 17th decapitation I've dealt with today, because apparently a lot of people are going to get decapitated. And she says, I hate someone who takes head and never gives it. And that's a funny line. And that's the only funny line in the entire movie. And so she's the one that tells him, hey, the hypothalamus is gone. Everything's here from the brain except the hypothalamus looks like it's been scooped out, right? And all of a sudden, he talks to his partner, his detective partner or whatever, and he's like, see if any of the other heads are missing their hypothalamus. And it's like, why? Like, there was nothing really, because he didn't know that John Whitney worked. He didn't know that he was in Brazil. The ship was Brazilian. He hadn't put any of that other stuff together yet. And it was just like, why would he think that the two were related? And why would he think to say, hey, let's take a look at the other hypothalamuses?
I don't know.
But they were all missing their hypothalamus. So
That is a weird thing to have in common.
well, I mean, that makes sense then to lead him to this thing. And then there's a whole subplot with the mayor and the mayor being like, you're a dick and we're going to have this big party and everything. You know what this movie is? This movie is a mixture of Jurassic Park, because, you know, the monster, like, it reminded me of the raptor a little bit, like, you know, inside and everything like that. Alien,
Okay.
because stalking people one by one, and Jaws, because they want to have this big fundraiser party. There's supposed to be a killer on the loose or whatever. They want to have this big fundraiser party, and he's like, no, you know, I don't think it's safe and everything. This thing's still on the loose. That's my priority. And the mayor calls him up. It's like, we're having this fucking party, you know, and everything. It's like, all right.
Here's the thing, though. You just listed 3 really great movies, and this was not.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is, like, this is so I guess a chimera or whatever is greater than the sum of its parts, right? It's some monster that's greater than the sum of its parts. This is the opposite of a chimera, where it's combining 3 different things, 3 different really good movies, but the end is a fucking abortion. It's a horrible, horrible movie.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Don't go to the theater to see it.
Don't waste your time.
Don't rent it. Don't even think about it.
Yeah, just pretend. After you're done listening to us talk about it, the movie doesn't exist anymore.
If they ever make DVDs, don't put it on.
Right?
I mean, what the fuck? This movie was trash.
The next movie we see better be good, or else.
And it made no sense. Nothing about this movie made sense. It wasn't scary. It wasn't interesting. And most of it was just a mass of shadow.
Yes.
I couldn't see hardly anything.
Which is why I fell asleep. Because it's like you can't even tell what's going on. And there's just screaming.
And it was mostly just boring talking. I realize we haven't talked about Penelope Ann Miller that much, but that's because her character doesn't exist. Her acting choices don't exist. She might as well not be in the movie.
Right.
They might as well have put a cardboard cutout of Kathy Ireland in that role. And they just, like, make click-clacking sounds. Like, hold her in front of a computer and just be like...
Wow.
And then you could just have some voiceover be like, oh, it's John Whitten. Remember the first 30 seconds of this film? Fuck.
Yeah.
It was terrible. I looked at my watch when there was still like an hour left in the movie. Yeah. I looked at my watch and I was like, how is this movie not 10 minutes from being over?
Yeah, it felt like forever, for sure.
Oh my God. Yeah, no good. Don't see it. And that's our public service for the week.
We took a bullet so you don't have to.
Carol, tell them how they can repay us.
So go ahead and write us at latefee1994 at AOL.com.
Mm-hmm.
Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Oh, yeah.
And tell your friends.
All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.